All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Daily Destiny with Jessie B. I am Jessie Christensen, and this morning I'm going to continue on the series, of the promise of Christmas, and I want to share with you two more truths about the promise of hope. So first of all, happy Friday. Happy Blue Friday for those who are Seahawk fans. It's been a while since I was sporting my Seahawk gear, so I thought I would do that this morning. So anyway, back to the promise of Christmas. I was thinking about this yesterday as I was writing this for this morning, that even in just the past 2 days, I've been studying and I've been reading about the birth of Jesus, that my eyes have already begun to see Christmas in a whole new perspective. And it's only December, is it December 2nd? It's only December 2nd. So I was really excited about that, because that's my hope for this, is that our eyes can be open to just in a new way this holiday season. So good morning, Ashley. And so I think when we connect our hearts to the reason of Christmas, which is the miracle of Christ's birth, that we can understand the why and the how of Christmas. And then we start to experience more joy during the season. And this is what I mean by that when we look at the lights and we hear the Christmas music, or we watch the Hallmark movies and we go to parties with friends, that we can experience that a little bit of extra joy and extra peace, because we understand why we are celebrating. So again, this series is just as much for me as anybody else, and my hope is that our eyes and hearts will continue to connect with the real gift and miracle of Christmas. And so on Wednesday, when I shared about the promise of hope, I gave a little good news and bad news. And the bad news was that each of us has entered the world with a nature of sin in need of a Savior. But the good news is that God entered the world as an infant to take away our sin. And Christmas is that time that we remember the day and the way that God saved us from ourselves. And so my first truth of hope is number one, that we have hope that Jesus saves. And I shared again last Wednesday that in Matthew 1:21, it said, "She will give birth to a son, and you're to give him the name Jesus, because he will save people from their sins." And so the English word Jesus, it actually is the origin to a Hebrew word, which means Yeshua, which is actually a shortened Hebrew word, which means Yahweh saves. And Yahweh is a Hebrew name of God found in the Bible. And so in Matthew, it also says that a virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and we will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. So who is Jesus? God saves. And what does Jesus do for us? God saves. So number one, we can have hope that Jesus saved us. Number two, we can have hope that God can use us. God can use you, and God can use me. And so I want to share a couple verses found in Luke about Jesus' birth story. It's Luke 1:26 through 32, and it says this. "In the 6th month, God sent an angel, Gabriel, to Nazareth, to a town in Galilee, to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of David. The virgin's name was Mary. The angel went to her and said, 'Greetings, you who are highly favored, the Lord is with you.' Mary was greatly troubled at his words and wondered what kind of greeting this might be. But the angel said to her, 'Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will be with child and give birth to a son, and you are to name him Jesus.'" And so I love this because, like I said, God can use anybody. God chose an ordinary, unsuspecting, humble, meek Galatian girl to spread the most glorious news ever that was going to save the world. And so I love what Beth Moore said. I was reading this yesterday, and I thought this was perfect. She said, "I love the way God works. Just when we think God is too complicated or too complex, God draws us stick pictures." I love that. God simplifies it. And not only do we have hope for a lifetime that Jesus saved us, but we should have hope that God will use anyone. He can use you, he can use me, no matter how ordinary we think we are, to further his plans for this world. And so the one thing I want to encourage you guys to practice is I grew up going to a church that had an Advent wreath. I don't know if you guys grew up with an Advent wreath at your church, but growing up, I didn't actually know what the meaning was until I was older, but I always thought it was a fun tradition. I thought the wreaths were always pretty. And so my encouragement for you this weekend is to either make, if you're somebody who's really crafty and you can make a wreath, or simply buy one and mark the Advent season from week to week. And so you can so every week you light the appropriate candle. So there's 4 candles, one for each week. So this Sunday you would light 2 candles, so representing the first week that is just ending, and then the beginning of the second week of Advent. And so you can choose to light it maybe during your prayer time, or maybe during family dinner, just something that can serve as a reminder of the light of Christ is with us during this season and a lifetime. And so that's my encouragement for you. So the hope of that we can have in Jesus, the hope for a lifetime, that is one of the promises of Christmas. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Good morning, Cammie, and happy Friday. Good morning, Amy. I hope you guys have a great Friday. I will be back again on Monday to share about the promise of peace. So hope you guys have a great day. Remember that you're worthy, you're beautiful, you are strong. Go Seahawks, as always, on Sunday. And I will see you guys on Monday. All right, bye-bye.